We finally have official information on the uncool Niko, or rather the other Tokita Niko. We actually have legitimate information about his backstory. We know his birthday. We know how tall he is. We know how much he weighs. We know his personality. We know so much about him that we didn't know. Psych. You thought Sandra was actually gonna give us information? Come on now. What is good, y'all? Seeing here, and today we're gonna talk about the character profiles that just released for the villains of Kengan Omega, and that comes out in volume 25. So if you haven't caught up on Red Kengan Omega, I am gonna be spoiling a little bit of details. I mean, a little bit. I mean, not too much of the details for you. So I suggest you catch up if you haven't caught up so already. But with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about these character profiles because we got a lot of information that we actually learned from about these characters, bro. And another thing, if I sound a bit off, is because I'm just recovering from a cold, so I do apologize for that one. In fact, that's the reason why the Boo Boo video is taking so long, because I don't want to record it while I'm still feeling a little bit icky. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started looking at the character profiles. So the first one we're going to start off with is going to be Gilbert Wu. He is a clone of Eddie the Wu Clapper, and it's stated here that officially he is recognized as Eddie's son. However, Eddie's older brother, Howard Wu, does not know the truth about Gilbert. So when it comes to Gilbert, first off, that's a weird ass name, bro. You gotta change out these names, Sandra, bro. Gilbert is not at all an imposing name. If I'm running from somebody, I don't want to be running from somebody whose name is Gilbert. The only reason that Gilbert was created was so that Eddie could eliminate the other three Western conquerors. You got Fabio, Solomon, and Howard. And the reason that Eddie wanted to take over, or rather eliminate them, was so he can control the entire Wu clan. And to be fair, I don't think it was much of a struggle for him to do so. He probably could have done it himself, considering that Elio just wiped the floor with both Fabio and Solomon in a blink of an eye, but that's completely different. And so, because those three also shared the personality of the original Wu, Eddie had to get rid of them before he could manage the entire Wu clan. And unfortunately, Eddie didn't survive, so it then fell onto Gilbert, which actually works in Wu Hei's favor because Eddie's personality and memories were the closest to the original Wu Hei, and so Gilbert's memories and personalities, which are the closest to Eddie's, is therefore the closest to the original Wu Hei. Keep up with me. I know that was a lot to keep up with. And that's actually why a lot of people didn't really know the truth behind Gilbert Wu. And actually, I think Alan didn't know who Gilbert Wu really was, that he was a clone of Eddie. And I think only William Wu knew that Gilbert was a clone of the original Eddie. So go figure. And we get a little bit more information about Gilbert as a person. He loves cigars. He's like, what, 26 years old? Oh, damn, he's younger than me. And then you got his birthday is on April 25th. Now, when it comes to his alcohol, he prefers beer over whiskey. I personally see it the other way, but that's just me, okay? So let's move on to the next one. Oh, but before I move on from Gilbert, I gotta mention, man, these Westward faction guys, they are absolutely massive. Like, I'm talking, these are giants, bro. This man is 211 centimeters. That makes him 6'9". He needs to be in the league, okay? We need somebody to stop Jokić, because this is getting out of hand. We need Gilbert to just stop killing and just, pick up a basketball, learn how to dribble, learn how to pass, learn how to block shots. Then boom, now we got someone who can actually be on par with this man. Anyways, let's move on to the next one. The other Tokita Niko, or as I call him, the uncool Niko, or as Sandro technically names him, number 6. With the other Niko, apparently he is really strong. He has a lot of physical traits. He's really, really good at fighting. Of course, it's just the way he is. But Sandro points out that his biggest strength is going to be his manipulation. How he manipulated Fei Wangfang, then how he manipulated Lu Tian. And by proxy, he also manipulated Long Ming and Ranjo into, well, he doesn't really care about his students. To him, they're just guinea pigs in order for him to figure out the potential of the human body. And so that actually kind of makes sense considering his character. That doesn't at all give us good amount of information whatsoever. In fact, the only ounce of information I think is valuable from the other Niko's profile is that he hates Gamukaku and he acknowledges the cool Niko. That's it. But of course, this is because Sandro doesn't want to release too much information about him, given that the story is still progressing. And so he wants us to learn a little bit more about the last Niko as the story goes on. All right, so next up, we got William Wu, the rumbling demon is his epithet. This is the guy that got absolutely bodied by Ryan the moment he got his sword upgrade. And when it comes to William Wu, he is really, really strong. Like, he has 100% Grihan, and he also has Superman syndrome. So he was blessed by the gods to be a really strong fighter. Though, as Sandra puts it, he is strong, but when it comes to like raw power, he's still weaker than both Waka because, well, his Superman syndrome in training, and Julius because he's Big Julius. He's Big Dopamine. I mean, he's Big Julius. When it comes to William, he was Gilbert's right-hand man. He was the only one that really knew that Gilbert was a clone of the original Eddie Wu. And William Wu is from Scotland. He's a representative for that country, and his favorite movie, unironically, is Braveheart. You know, that one movie with Mel Gibson. I remember watching that one when I was in high school. That was a really, really good movie, okay? Also, he is 6'8". He is 208 centimeters. These guys are absolute giants. Let's move on. Lastly, we have Shan Wu. Now, whenever you're making a character, okay, when you're trying to make a side character or like a throwaway character, the fact that his epithet is literally William's henchman is just even more of a joke, okay? I don't feel bad for Shan. In fact, he's from Canada, so I don't feel bad for him even more. But another thing when it comes to Shan is that in his profile, it's literally written down that unfortunately he was taken out by Ryan, but he may have been stronger if he had trained a little bit more. He had 70% Guihan, but it could have been 80. In other words, he was someone who could have had potential, but realistically, no one cares. All right, if I find one person out there in the comment section who actually says that you're a fan of Shan Wu, you're a liar. All right, maybe the hair might do it for you, but other than that, you're a liar. Stop it. Anyways, let's go on to the side story. So in this side story, we get information about Elio, actually, where how Elio and Edward actually met each other. You see, Elio at this time, I believe he was like 60 or something years old, and Eddie was actually against the Sicilian Mafia, or rather a secret union of the Sicilian Mafia. And while they were, struggling to go against him, this man Elio pulls up, hands in pockets, saying, "Oh, how's it going, youngsters? Oh, is this who you guys were against? Gotcha, no problem, they're nothing." And he is giggling the entire time. And they're looking at him like, "Old man, get out of here, okay? You don't need to be here, old man, okay? This ain't safe for you." Then this man, Elio, just shows up, claps the entire army with the sound of Kano's cheeks, and then looks back at them and said, "Oh, I thought you said it's supposed to be dangerous. Where's the danger?" Looks to me like y'all just some. If you look at that battle with Elio, just with that sleazy, smirky smile, he just looking down like, "What you say about old man, boy?" So let me tell you, okay? There's a reason that some people are old in this universe. There's a reason that these people grow old. And that's what I mean when it comes to anime, bro. Like, characters that are just the old man in anime, they're old for a reason. They're not old because they're weak. They're old because they survived. That is the biggest thing that I can always remember in all my years of reading manga, watching anime, and everything of the sort. That if a character is old, especially in a fighting anime, no, they are strong on levels we have not yet fathomed yet. I have learned my lesson. Anyways, that's going to do it for the video. Of course, we got the two dust covers that come out with Kazi having a wet dream, and then Akiyama and Kimishima having, the drunken, just chilling out, drinks with each other, which is pretty cool to see, but I'm definitely not going to cover that at all. Listen, it ain't Togo, so I'm not going to do it. All right, with that being said, you guys have a good one. Y'all take care. I'll see you on the next one.